All right, here we go. Things seem to be working all right, so we're just gonna get right to it. We are live. It is Sunday night, 7 o'clock. Kind of a weird time. Well, not a weird time to be going live during the season, but first Sunday stream in a while. But good to be back. We've got the Ethernet hooked back up. I'll be monitoring the connection situation closely here, but hopefully things will run pretty smoothly. Hopefully no crashes or anything. But we're gonna try again here with some Wii Sports and Draft Talk. Nice little draft Q&A stream to get us prepped for draft season. As always, you guys know the drill. Feel free to say hello if you're here in chat. But we should have a fun one here tonight. Just going to be hanging out, playing some games, answering any draft questions, takes, anything like that you've got. But good to have you all in here. It's been a pretty nice weekend here in Fargo. Weather's been pretty good, up in the 60s for probably the first time this year, honestly. So that's been kind of nice. It's been nice and warm and sunny. There might be a little bit of rain rolling in later. We got a little bit of rain this morning, but been a pretty good day outside overall. So been spending a lot of time outside. We got Henry in here. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Henry. Good to have you in here. I'm doing well, man. How about you? Yeah, getting ready for the draft, staying busy with that. I was actually watching some Michael Williams today, getting locked in for him. Obviously, watched him a little bit throughout Georgia's season, but I like him, man. I really like the Georgia guys in this year's draft class, especially the guys up front. I like Michael and I like Jalen Walker a lot. We might get into that a little bit later, but I don't know. And I've got my mock draft coming on Wednesday, which I'm pretty excited for. I think there's a good chance both of those guys go in the top 10, to be honest. And if I was a GM, I don't know. I might have a top 10 grade on both those guys. I really like the Georgia guys. And obviously there's Malachi Starks too. But yeah, locked in on the Georgia front seven today. We got Parker in here too, saying, "What's up, doctor? Good to have you in here, Parker. Let's go." Been chilling. How about you? Have a good weekend? And we got David in here too. Let's go. I love the question that you put in the community post earlier. I'm glad that you're in here so we can get to that. David asking, Mason Graham, combine bust, but on-field star. Wouldn't pick him in the first round, but why does three technique performance in the NFL not correlate as well with combine performance as it does for edges? You know, it's an interesting question. I got that question. I read it in the parking lot of Home Goods, and that got me thinking a little bit like, okay. So I'm sure like if you look at like a graph, right? Maybe if you look at like a player's RAS, relative athletic score, versus their like sack production or something, right? I'm sure there's probably a clear line between like edges and defensive tackles. But I will say I just out of curiosity, I didn't pour through like every three techs RAS, right? But like Chris Jones had a high RAS, Fletcher Cox had a high RAS. I don't remember if Aaron Donald did or not, but I have to imagine he did, right? But yeah, the big thing with Mason Graham is he's maybe a little bit undersized. There's some questions about his mass, about his arm length. I think the big thing for him that's made him stand out and play so well with Michigan, he's just so slippery, right? And you can run into some problems in the run game, and you wonder if maybe he's a little one-dimensional, he can't win with power. But man, he could just like swim by some of these offensive linemen. He's a pretty slippery guy. He's just hard to get your hands on, especially if you're one of these bigger guards, you know. So, but there have been some concerns about him, which I think is fair to say. I still think he's got a really high ceiling. I think he's a pretty talented player, probably one of the 10 best players in the class. But I think it is understandable to have a little bit of concern about him. Just like he's a little bit smaller. Can he maybe be quite as stout in the run game? Can he win with power? You know, can he win in a way other than just like, you know, skirting by someone? So, but I don't know. I still think he might go pretty high. But he has a little bust potential. I don't think he's just like some perfectly safe prospect, like, oh, absolutely can't miss. There's not really a lot of those in this year's class, but I really like that question. That is a good question. We got Jack in here too. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Jack. Saying Wolves and Lakers gonna go crazy. Masters all finished up and it was electric. Yeah, I caught a little bit of the end of the Masters on my phone. Hey, Rory didn't fall apart for once. Hey, that's my guy right there. I know maybe you're not the biggest Rory fan, and I get that, but I don't know. He was my guy when I had my golf phase when I was like 13 years old. So it was good to see him get the Grand Slam, right? Come on, you got chills seeing him get the green jacket a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, and that Wolves-Lakers series is going to be good too. We might be in for a pretty good NBA playoff, so I'm pretty fired up for that. I don't know if the Wolves are going to get it done or not, but hey, if we win round one, man, hey, the sky's the limit. But that should be an electric series. Henry asking, do we think we'll see a lot of trades in the first round? That's a good question. I mean, so far, right, this is the draft that's notorious for everyone having their own first round picks. Literally never happened since the NFL AFL merger. Every single team has their original first round pick. I get the feeling we'll see a few, right? I think, honest to goodness, my biggest trade prediction, I think if there's going to be a trade, this might be a little spicy. I think we might see a team trade into the back end of the first round to get a quarterback. Maybe that's not spicy because, we see it every once in a while. You want to get that fifth-year option. I think it might be Milroe. I don't know. Don't you think it's kind of interesting how he is going to the draft in Green Bay? Like, I feel like he might know something, right? I don't know. There's some teams that are kind of high on him, and I've watched a little bit of him now. I could see a team, I could see the logic of, hey, we're going to trade up to 32 to get him just because we want that fifth-year option. Honestly, dare I say he's my QB2 in the class? I don't know. I might have him over Shedeur, honestly, now that I've dove into these guys a little bit more. I think we might see a few trades, and there might be a team moving up a few spots to get a guy they really like. But I think if you want a big splashy trade, I could see, I don't know, some team that wants a quarterback trading up to 32 or 31 or something and nabbing Jalen Milroe. That's my big prediction right there. We got Caden in here too. Let's go. Welcome to the stream. Caden saying, whoa, 19. Yeah, there was 19 people in here at one point. That's a number we haven't hit since the season, so that's pretty exciting. Look at that. We even got 14 in here right now, so that is pretty good. I appreciate you guys. Let's go. David asking, is that because of his wrestling background or just film study and skill practice that make Mason a college star? I forgot. He does have a little bit of wrestling background, right? And I mean, he was a fairly big recruit coming out of high school, if I recall correctly, right? But yeah, I mean, that wrestling carryover, that might be something to look into a little bit. You look at some of these interior linemen. I think Tyler Linderbaum, the center for the Ravens, had a big wrestling background too. I mean, it's all about getting low, right? And wrestlers are kind of agile. So I could see it. Jack saying, I think the Vikings will trade back in the first. Yeah, I could see that, right? I mean, they have only 4 picks right now. That would be pretty understandable if they don't love any of the guys there. There's a few players I kind of have in mind for the Vikings, and I don't want to spoil too much, right? I want to build up suspense for the mock draft, but I don't know. There's a few guys I have my eye on for the Vikings. That's what I'll say. And we got the other Jack in here too. Let's go. We got double Jacks in here, Jack Gothberg and Jack Doty. Jack asking, are the Seahawks the dream fit for T-Mac? I mean, that would be a pretty nice fit. I would be shocked if he made it all the way down to, was it 17, right? I would be pretty surprised if he made it that far in the draft. But that would, schematically, yeah, that'd be an awesome fit, right? They need that outside guy, that guy that can go up and win balls down the sideline. Sam Darnold certainly likes to chuck it, right? I could just picture in my head now McMillan running a little comeback route 15 yards down the field, and Sam just slings it. And then you've got JSN and Kupp working the slot. Maybe you put Smith and Jigba at the Z a little bit right off the line of scrimmage, but still a boundary receiver. Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. I think Seattle would have to trade up if they wanted him, though. I don't see him going past 12, to be honest. I think if he's on the board and the Cowboys don't take him, I would be pretty surprised. Because honestly, if you want to talk about the perfect fit for him, the Cowboys, he is the exact type of receiver that they need. Someone besides CeeDee Lamb. Again, just a lot of teams that need that big body X receiver on the outside, and that's a big reason why I like him so much. And I think he's just a pretty good player. But Henry saying, I could see the Saints getting aggressive and trading up into the top 5 for a quarterback, especially now that Carr is hurt. Yeah, that was the big story that kind of broke this past week, right? Derek Carr might miss the season. So there's a tweet that made me laugh. It was they're saying Chris Olave took his family out to dinner to celebrate. I could see that. I don't know. Personally, if I'm the Saints, man, I'm not taking a quarterback in the first round. Just let Spencer Rattler take the season. If you stink, fine. If anything, good, right? Finally, this is the perfect opportunity for the Saints to just rip the Band-Aid off. We've been waiting for them to do that for years now, right? Their quarterback is hurt. They probably were going to be like at best an 8-win team anyways. Like, just let Spencer Rattler play. If he's cool or if he's good, cool, great. Like, cool, bonus quarterback. If not, whatever. Oh no, we have the 3rd pick next year, right? I don't know, man. Because outside of Cam Ward, is there really any quarterback you want to be taking that high? Like, do we really? I don't know, man. Do we really think like Shedeur Sanders on the Saints is going to move mountains? Do we think like Jackson Dart on the Saints is going to do anything? I don't know. I think if you're the Saints and you want a quarterback, I would maybe feel a little better if you just snuck into the back end of the first round instead of trading up. I don't know. If you ain't getting Cam Ward, I'm not touching a quarterback in the first like 20 picks for sure. Personal opinion, but I could see 1 or 2 getting taken because that's how it goes, right? But that'll be a team to watch. They're a true wild card now. I have no idea what they're gonna do at 9. To be honest, they have so many needs too. But if I'm the Saints, I'm going BPA and I'm just sleeping good at night. Just let's take our time here. Let's build this out a little bit. We got Dark Elixir in here. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Dark Elixir, saying, if you're the New Orleans Saints, what do you do? Personally, I'd roll with Rattler. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. These questions are flying in fast and furious. I love it. We're going to get started on our round of golf, but please keep the questions coming. If you missed the stream, the attempt of a stream back on Wednesday, it looks like it's lagging a little bit still, but honestly, as long as it doesn't crash, I don't really care. But what we're doing here, right, in honor of the Masters, like we were talking about, we're going to play. I got to back up here. I'm going to have to adjust the mic too. I'm going to have to crane my neck forward a little bit, but we're just going to play a nice little round of Wii Golf and answer your draft questions, right? Masters just wrapped up. I've been meaning to fire up Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resorts on stream for a while now. Just something to do, but we're going to keep this going. Please keep these questions coming, though. These are awesome questions already. People coming out firing. Oh, I love the one that Jack just dropped in here, too. But we're going to calibrate everything, and then I'm going to have to adjust my camera and mic a little bit. We got the Dr. Pigskin me. We're going to do 18 holes. I'm all right at this game. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to have to bring things up, right, because I don't want to swing into the mic necessarily. I will say, it is still incredibly laggy, which is a little disappointing. But honestly, if y'all can hear me okay, we'll take it. I'm going to tilt my monitor up, too, so I can see a little bit better. But, yeah, I'm with you, Dark Elixir. I would just roll with Rattler, honestly. Jack's saying Milroe could be a good fit, but I don't think he can throw that efficiently. Yeah, I mean, that's the big question, right? He does have such a big arm, right? I mean, he honestly might have the strongest arm in the class, and he's just such a good runner. There's some questions over, like, how many different throws he can make, and he didn't show necessarily a lot of being, like, a full-field passer at Alabama. A lot of that was just, like, whatever, though, right? If you're so much faster than everyone else, like, why wouldn't you just scramble? So maybe he can be coached up a little bit. He is incredibly raw. I would not take him, like... Again, I don't think he's like a top 10 pick or anything. And you would need to have healthy expectations. Like, honestly, he may just go into the NFL and stink. But could he be like a Jalen Hurts as his ceiling? If he goes to like a decent team that caters an offense around him and they're just kind of patient, right? I mean, that was a bad shot. We've seen worse quarterbacks have really good NFL careers. And honestly, just having high athleticism is just such a big floor raiser, right? If you've got some mobility in your game, that just does so much to make everything easier. You can play true 11-on-11 football, right? You can get that extra blocker in the run game. So, but yeah, like, can he throw over the middle, right? Can he handle like under center stuff? Like, you know, a lot of these offenses are asking these guys to do it, and he's just not asked to do that at the college level necessarily. Just missed it. Not very good at reading greens, unfortunately. But yeah, he's a very polarizing prospect, and I get it. But like, even if like the Browns took him at like 33 or 34, right? I don't know. I could see the vision with that a little bit. We'll take a par. We got Pear Champ in here too. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Pear Champ, saying, "Hey Doc, how's it going?" I'm doing well, man. How about yourself? I'm wondering who you want for the Packers in the draft here in the first round. Got to be thinking receiver maybe, right? Or we could go offensive line, stock up on depth a little bit. We're going to try the meta here. The meta is to do the 3-wood on this hole and, like, just barely hit it. I might have hit that too light. I'll take a decent roll. Oh, that was all right, honestly. There's this German YouTuber that I watch play this game sometimes, and he hit a hole-in-one. He hits hole-in-ones fairly consistently on this hole using the 3-wood. All right, let's see if we can sink this putt here. I always do no practice putts, not to psych myself out or anything. Should be straightforward. There we go. We'll take that. We'll take a little birdie right there on hole 2. We got the jack squared in chat. Caden saying, I need the Packers to get Kobe Bryant in the second. I think you could maybe wait a little bit more for him, honestly. Just based off like what I've seen, and who knows, right? We get surprised every year, as I like to say. All it really takes is one team. All it takes is one team to like a guy, and all of a sudden he's getting drafted way before you think he would. You could probably get him in the 3rd or 4th, though, I think. He's been your guy, though. You've been on the Kobe Bryant train for a minute now. You're actually the one who kind of put me onto him a little bit. Oh, this is a tough shot, honestly. We might play it safe here. We got the wind at our back. I don't want to hit the trees or anything. If we just hit this well. Left a little on that one right there. Not a good start so far, honestly. Not the best start. Let's see. Yeah, we're in the rough here now. Man. We do have the wind still. We can hit this pretty hard. If I do it like this. I don't even know how well y'all can see this, honestly. It is skipping so much. I don't know what the deal is. We got a new Ethernet cable. Hooked it up. Again, at least it's not crashing. But I did a speed test, and it said it was doing just fine. So, who knows? Maybe we do need to upgrade our internet plan. But we just did that last year. Anyways, hit this wedge shot, get into more questions here. Golly. Honestly, maybe it's good at choppy right now. I'm not shooting very well. Yeah, we got Reed Champagne in here. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Reed. Saying, hey, man, hope all has been well. Appreciate it, man. You know, I've been chilling. How about you? Good to have you in here, though. Let's go. You excited for the draft? Hard to believe it's coming up here. Oh, I might hit that too hard. Yeah. Yeah. Tough. What? Parachamp asking, would I be surprised if Sanders drops and the Saints get him? I think he will be on the board at 9, honestly. Let's try and see if we can sink this for par here. I think he will be on the board at 9. I think there's definitely a chance that the Saints take him now, though, with Derek Carr potentially being out for the season. Oh, my gosh, I missed the putt, dude. I'm going to bogey here. Now, this is a double bogey, actually. This is... It's a disaster. It's a disaster. I would say it's like 50-50, honestly, which, like, I would not have had that on my radar at all, even, like, a week ago before Carr got hurt. I was like, I don't think they're going to go quarterback. Now, I think there's a decent chance. I think that's a bit of an overdraft, in my opinion, just personal opinion. I don't know. The thing with Shedeur is he's honestly very limited as far as his tools go, right? He's a pretty accurate passer. He's pretty good at, like, throwing it in the short and intermediate areas of the field. Like, honestly, he's good at, like, almost being like a Jared Goff type of quarterback, right? The problem is he still just holds on to the ball for so stinking long, right? So you're talking about... Oh, that was almost sick. You're talking about a quarterback that needs some development and needs some growth in a pretty big area of the game. And on top of that, his tools and his ceiling aren't super high. I mean, like, honestly, a decent comp for him, I think, is like Jimmy Garoppolo. And it's like, I mean, you need a really good offensive environment to make that work. And if you're the Saints, man, you just have so many issues to take care of. Do you really want your quarterback to be like, oh, he might be Jimmy Garoppolo, but also, like, you need to be the 2019 49ers for that to work, you know? So, I don't know. That's my big thing with him. That's why I'm not, like, super high on him. Honestly, like, I could care less about, like, oh, his dad is Deion Sanders or whatever. Like, honestly, that's fine. Like, whatever. Like, but I just think like overall as a quarterback, he leaves a little bit to be desired. I don't think he's like bad, but realistically, man, I just think it would be a lot better if he was going in rounds 2 or something. But I I think the Steelers would be another team you'd look at like potentially taking him, right? I feel like that would certainly be on the menu. Oh, we got a big uphill shot here. Maybe we should have gone one more club. Yeah. That's on the green at least. Here's a great question from Jack, though. I'm glad he asked this. I wanted to get into this. Asking which tight end I like more, Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland. Dare I say I lean Loveland? I don't know. I really, really, really want to like Tyler Warren. And for the most part, I do. I do think he's like a first-round talent. He, you know, like I'm not saying like he's going to be a bust or anything, right? I do wonder how much of his game is going to translate to the NFL compared to Colston Loveland. I mean, Loveland is a lot more of your classic inline tight end. He's a much better route runner. You can just ask him to do a lot more of the tight endy stuff, right? Even though he's maybe not quite as big as Warren. The big thing with Warren is like, okay, he's really good after the catch. And Penn State did all these cool things with him, right? They got him in the Wildcat, and, you know, they ran so many screens with him, and that's nice, you know. Just watching his tape, man, I was slightly disappointed. Like, and he's not really as good of a blocker as you'd think he'd be at his size. A lot of people point out he has short arms, which I think really shows up, right? He's just not quite as good as a blocker when he's, like, attached to the offensive line, when he's like a true classic inline tight end. Now, when you get him out in space and you get him like a running start against a DB in the open field, right, on like a screen or an outside run, like, yeah, he's going to level people. He's a great mobile blocker. But just as like a stationary guy, like you're asking him to dig out someone in the run game, he's all right. But I think, and he's a little like, he's not the best route runner, to be honest. He didn't really beat a lot of man coverage, and I don't know. He is really good after the catch, but you're going to have to get really creative with him, and you're going to have to funnel a lot of targets to him and make a really concentrated effort to maximize his skill set. Now, that was bad. I'm going to bogey again. There are some teams I think that could actually do that, like the Colts, for example, right? I feel like that's maybe the most mocked pick out of the entire draft is Tyler Warren to the Colts. I could see that, right? Even like the 49ers, if they want to soft launch their Kittle replacement. You know, I honestly think if you want a comp for him, even though I think he's like maybe 5 inches bigger, he kind of plays like Jonnu Smith a little bit, and I feel like that's maybe the best way to use him is like how the Dolphins used Jonnu Smith this past season, right? Just, all right, we are going to get this guy the ball on these short underneath passes and let him cook after the catch, and then he's going to block dudes downfield, and he's not going to be like your typical classic tight end. I don't know. Loveland is my cup of tea a little bit more. I just think it's easier to envision him being a part of the passing game organically, and even though he might not have the same juice after the catch, I think he's a lot better at getting open. He's got really good hands, and, you know, the stats and the tape weren't the best in 2024. I think you can write off a lot of that to just subpar quarterback play. But even this past season, he had some good games. And in 2023, he was a beast, man. Oh, that was a terrible putt. That was a terrible putt. You'd be saying that a lot. So I guess that's my long-winded way of saying I think I like Loveland just a little bit more. But I do like Warren, too. I think they're both first-round talents. And you're just going to have a realistic idea of like how to use those guys. But I spent like 5 minutes talking about that one. But like the Seahawks, like your Seahawks, for example, I think they would be a good team for Tyler Warren, honestly, when you've got that Clint Kubiak offense, right? Getting him out of space and those outside zone runs. You know, the Shanahan tree guys love to scheme up yak for their tight ends. Like he might be a good fit there if they don't want to go offensive line, which I might prefer if I was Seattle. But if they wanted to get another weapon, I wouldn't hate Tyler Warren at 17. I would feel a lot better about that than like the Jets taking him at 7. That's something I've seen. It's like, I think 7 might be a little rich. He's not Brock Bowers. That's what I'll say. All right, let's see if we can. Nope. Golly. Dark Elixir asking, I wouldn't mind the Saints taking Milrow. Worst case scenario, we get our next Taysom Hill. Hill is 34, by the way. That is actually crazy to think about. I suppose he really has been around for a minute, and he was probably pretty old coming out of college, right? One of those BYU guys. Yeah, that's crazy to think about. Sean Payton's favorite son. He's not even with Sean Payton now. All right, this is going to be a tough shot right here. We got a lot of winds to work with. I'm scared to hit this too hard, but I don't want to hit it too soft either. We might do around 3 dots on the driver. Yeah, we'll live with that. That's pretty good. Good question from David. Any international players getting drafted? Dude, I'm going to have to brush up a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Off the top of my head, I really could not tell you. I'm sure there will be, right? There always is. And that's something that I love seeing, right? The NFL has done such a good job of promoting the game overseas. They've got that international player pipeline now. We've seen our fair share of international guys get drafted. I think about the Lions. They took some running back converted to safety out of Canada last year, right? I'm trying to remember his name. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But you see it every once in a while now. There's been some good ones. Think about like Tama Hawley, if you remember him. He came out of Liberia, if I'm not mistaken. Sebastian Vollmer, I don't remember what European country he was from, but he had a good career. Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare, right? That was a while ago. That was before I was born even. But I remember he had some crazy Madden Ultimate Team cards. That was a decent shot. I'm shooting 2 over right now, if y'all noticed. Not my best work. I was telling this story back on Wednesday before the stream crashed, right? Back in late 2022, December of 2022, first and only ever time I had COVID. And I was pretty sick. I ended up missing like a week of school. Granted, it was like finals week, and most of them are online anyways. I didn't really miss a whole lot. But I was just at home with nothing to do for like a week. The amount of Wii Sports Resort golf I played, some might describe as unhealthy, but I was so locked in. I was on such a kick. Me and my Georgia friend group, we played this game so much, and I was so determined to set the record on that Wii. And I have a picture of it somewhere. It was like 10 under or something crazy like that. But we are clearly not shooting as well right now. First half we're at 2 over. That's not ideal, but we'll see if we can lock in on the back 9 here. Let's at least try and shoot under par here in this back end. Pair Champ saying Warren could be the next Kelsey. He has a very high ceiling. I'm definitely not going to deny that. He has like honestly maybe a higher ceiling after the catch. Kelsey is just such a refined route runner. I struggle to imagine a world where Tyler Warren can get open as well as Kelsey could. That's just like, to me, if I was going to compare a guy to Kelsey, honestly, it probably would be Loveland. And I'm not saying he's going to be as good as him, but I don't know. Like, at least that game against USC was sick. You know, he had 17 catches or something crazy like that. But so much of it is just like stuff dumped underneath all these screens, which is good. And he's good at it, but you don't really ever see him win downfield. I'm lagging like crazy right now. I might be frozen. We'll see. I don't know if y'all can still hear me or not. I just absolutely smoked that putt. I'm going to refresh here. Hold on. Hopefully it's still up and running. Okay, it appears to be. That's good. That's good. Pearchap also saying, I'd be down for a wide receiver in the first round, but the Packers don't do that. My personal choice is Jahdae Barron. That is one of my biggest draft crushes right there, Jahdae Barron. And we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening on this mock draft come Wednesday. I might have an egregious Jahdae Barron take. That's what I'll say. I might do something crazy with him. Okay, it's at least playing a little bit. Can y'all still hear me at least? Hopefully y'all can at least still hear me. I really don't know what the deal is, man. Like, I'm looking at OBS right now, and it's still in the red. I'm going to try switching to Wi-Fi, honestly. Good question from Dark Elixir. Anyone who I think could be a sleeper this year. But I'm going to switch to Wi-Fi off the Ethernet and see if that's any better or not. It's loading. we'll give it a chance here. Worst case, again, we'll just power through like this. We're yapping, right? We're making it work. All right, here we go. But yeah, good question from Dark Elixir. Anyone I think could be a sleeper this year? You know, I don't have any deep sleepers yet. I still need to hit like some of these late round guys. If you want a day 2 guy that I like, that's kind of been rising up. He's not like a deep sleeper, but Jaden Higgins out of Iowa State is interesting. Again, just another one of those big body guys. I'm not quite as sold on him as like T-Mac. Obviously, he's just maybe not quite as refined. He's a little finessey at times, but he's really good at winning downfield. And Iowa State really only asked him to go on like go balls last year, right? They didn't give him like a very refined route tree. And you could see, like with the size and the movement ability, you can picture a world where he is really good on like comeback routes and dig routes, right? There's a little bit of rawness to him. He's not a perfect prospect by any means, but I don't know. He's a guy like day 2, like I would like him on the Chargers a lot. Like that would be a day 2 pick that I would love right there. Granted, it would probably be the 2nd round, but no deep sleepers yet. Well, let's see if we can hit the classic trick here. This one's gonna be tough. I'm gonna have to full juice this thing, I think. Got the wind blowing. This is a tough shot right here. Get there, ball. Oh, let's go. Let's go. What a shot. That is exactly what we needed. All right. Let's see if we can get this thing on the green here. If we can get ourselves an eagle chance. I'm a little scared to overhit it because we are going downhill. But that wind is a thing. I'm going to see if we can... we're going to about full juice this thing. Zabel's really good. I would hardly classify him as a sleeper, honestly. I think he's going to go pretty high. I don't think he's going to make it to 20, to be honest. There's a few teams that I really like for Gray Zabel. I think he could go as high as 13 to the Dolphins, to be honest. That's a pick I've been toying around with my mock draft for a little bit. He would be another guy that would make sense for Seattle, too. I would be shocked if he made it past the Seahawks, to be honest. Like, he is just such a perfect fit for what they're going to do with Clint Kubiak. Just great athletic lineman. You can plug him in anywhere. I mean, if they don't want to put him at tackle, cool. Put him at center, right? He could be an awesome center with the way he's built and his athleticism and his smarts. And we saw Cody Mauch out of NDSU turn into a really good lineman a few years ago, right? Like, the pipeline is there. I hit that a little soft and a little to the left there. But yeah, I think he's going to go pretty high. I know there's a lot of people that really like him. We'll take that birdie, though. Let's go. Caden asking, thoughts on Golden to Green Bay? Ooh, that would be a good fit. See, Matthew Golden's another guy that's really risen up the draft rankings a little bit, right? I think if he got picked, like, what Packers have, like, what, the 23rd pick, something, I think I feel a lot better about that than, like, him going to the Jets at 7. That's another thing I've seen, right? It's like, I don't know about that. He did run a fast 40, but honestly, he doesn't really play like a 4.29 guy. It's not that he's slow. Also, what a shot. Oh, what a shot. It's not that he's slow, but a comp that I like for him, honestly, is like Stefon Diggs, and that, like, he's really good at those intermediate routes. He's really good on digs and posts and corners, right? He's not like just some dude that like burns your face off with go balls necessarily. And he is fast, but his game speed. I needed that. Oh, I needed that. His game speed, I don't think quite matches up with his combine time. I do think he's he's a very intriguing prospect. It is worth noting, like, honestly, he really was Texas's number 2 the whole time. He only has 2 100-yard games to his name this past season, right? He kind of came on late after Isaiah Bond, their other receiver, got hurt. Of course, he's got his own thing going on now. But so there is that, and he didn't really do a whole lot elsewhere. I do think he is like, okay, I can see a team like the Packers who just need a little bit more juice in their receiver room taking a swing. I personally think he should be a guy that goes in like the late teens, early 20s. I don't know. I think, or like even seeing him mock to the Cowboys at 12 is like, I think that's a bit much. And also I think he and CD are maybe a little too similar. The Cowboys just need more oomph in their receiver room, in my opinion. But to the Packers, that's a spot I would like. I think him or, oh, we hopped that. We hopped that. Oh, please tell me y'all saw that. Hop in the sand trap. Eagle chance. My lord, there's no way we hit this putt though, right? We're just going to smoke this thing. Let's go. We'll set up a birdie though. Let's go. But Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State, that would be a pick I'd really love for the Packers too. I really do think they should go receiver though, right? You got to get another guy in there. I know there's some exciting young talent, but you just gotta raise the floor a little bit more. It's a little too volatile right now. Jack with a good question. If I'm the Lions, do I give up my first for Trey Hendrickson? Oh, absolutely. I would do that in a heartbeat, right? I mean, even if that's like a very win now move. And I know the whole Lions MO is like, that's just not what we do. You know, like we played smart. We trust Brad Holmes. We're going to draft well and get these rookie contracts. Understandable. I get that. But also Trey Hendrickson and Aiden Hutchinson, like that might be the duo that puts you over the top and wins the Super Bowl, right? I mean, you lose Big Z's Darius Smith. Did they bring back Marcus Davenport? I can't remember. But I mean, we saw firsthand, right? Like eventually, like they just ran out of guys up front. They need a little bit more depth. They just need a little bit more on defense, right? And even like with Aiden Hutchinson, it's like we think he's going to come back and be 100%. But it's like, shoot, I don't know. Like, I overhit that a little bit. It might not be like, he might not be 100% like right out of the gate week one, right? Like you're going to need a little bit more. So I would totally do that. If I'm the Bengals, would I do that? I would think about it, honestly. I think that, yeah. I mean, I'd said like a few weeks ago, right? I think maybe if I'm the Bengals, I would call the Commanders and say, hey, do you want Trey Hendrickson, right? If you could get a first for Trey Hendrickson, if I'm Cincy, I think I would do that. I honestly would rather take a first than pay Trey Hendrickson at this point in his career. If I'm the Bengals, if I'm the Lions, whatever, we'll pay him and we'll worry about it later. That'll be 2027's problem. We're trying to win the Super Bowl right now, you know? But that would be an interesting draft day trade right there. That would be a fun one. I'm not putting very well today. We'll take a par, though. Savion Williams is another guy I want, Caden says. I'm going to have to look into him a little bit more, to be honest. I don't have a Savion Williams take yet, unfortunately. Maybe tonight I'll do that a little bit. We're at even now, though, at least. We're going to take a water break. See if we can get a good drive right here. We got the wind, 12 miles per hour. It's kind of strong. We can hit this well, though. We got to lock in. Dude, I'm going to be like practicing this later. Like, oh, I'm better than this, I swear.
Great shot.
Let's see. Oh, we bent that corner a little bit. Oh. I might swerve, bent that corner. Whoa. I think that's how it goes. All right, this is a tough shot right here. We do have a little bump at the back of the green. I'm a little scared about that tree, though. Am I crazy for three-wooding this and just, like, punching it a little bit, right? Like, I'm scared I'm going to hit that tree. This might be stupid. Oh, that kind of worked. That kind of worked a little bit. Still a long ways from the hole, but we'll be able to at least par this. That wasn't a great lie right there, honestly. Again, I am such a novice when it comes to reading greens. I don't know how I scored so well, honestly. I'm just going to crush this and hope it breaks a little bit. I have not looked into him yet either. Again, I've mostly looked at round one guys so far. I'm procrastinating a little bit. Which he even... Oh, I hit that way too light. He even could sneak into round one. But I've not watched any Jalen Noel yet. Which I always want to call him Jalen Noel, right? Like the basketball player. I might actually bogey this. We've only got a few holes left. Oh. Yeah, we are going to bogey this. Golly. There we go. All right. All right. So we're going to have to birdie on the last 2 holes here if we want to finish under par. Not the greatest day on the course for Dr. Pigskin. Let's see. This one's the uphill one. This one is always a little tricky. We will go 3 wood here. We'll go 3 wood and go a little past 3 dots. Oh, that might be decent. Take a good bounce. Oh, no, not even close. I needed to hit that harder. I guess I underestimated how uphill it is. All right, well, can we chip this on at least and then eagle on the last one? That's what it's going to take. I don't think I'm going to chip this in necessarily. Ooh, that was kind of close, though. Where is that then? That was a great shot. All right, we'll live with that. Can we eagle on the last one to finish under par? Can we at least play an even round of golf here? We're going to need some good winds to get to the far island. Oh, this is scary. We got to go for it, though. We have to hit this one perfectly. We have to hit this one absolutely perfect. That would have been it right there. Well, that might even out with the wind. Let's go. What a shot. All right. We needed that. Can we get it on the green here? Man, that wind is howling. That wind is howling. It's going to carry a little bit too much. All right. Well, we might have to settle for even if we can chip it on here. I think it's a par 5. Yeah. Oh, it's uphill too. That's right. It's that little mound on the green. All right. Nuts. Nuts. And it rolled back, dude. We're gonna shoot like 2 over. We're gonna putt it from here. Screw it. We can hit this putt. This is just straight uphill, right? Oh, almost. We almost hit that. All right. That was a quick round. We parred at least. 1 over. It could have been better. It could have been worse. A few too many bogeys for my liking. What could you do, though, right? This is the first time trying it on stream. We're out here talking about Tyler Warren while we're trying to shoot. Plus 541. I guess Wii Sports begs to differ. Wii Sports Resorts thinks I did amazing. Got a stamp for that, too. All right. That wasn't bad. I did not expect it to go quite as quick as it did. Here's what I'll say. I did have something else in mind. I did plan on maybe playing a game of Wii Baseball and trying to beat Sakura, right? That's the Wii Baseball champion. I don't know, though. I might want to save that for later because it's still just been so laggy, right? And I was hoping that we'd get the full experience. I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? If y'all twist my arm, I will certainly give it a try here, and we can keep talking and hanging out for a little bit. It hasn't even been an hour yet, so I don't necessarily want to stop yet. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to bring my mic down for a sec, though, and sit down. I'm going to see if I can fix the internet one more time here. But at least it hasn't crashed, you know? Like, last time it crashed twice and then I couldn't get it started again. So at least it hasn't done that yet. The camera might look a little weird right now. It's just been moving all over the place, right? So yeah, I can't complain about that at least, but we are going to have to figure out what to do about this and see if we can fix this or not, because I would like my mock draft to run smoothly. And just for the future, right? And apparently, I'm not gonna keep complaining about the Ethernet. But yeah, man, I don't know. Honestly, I might just there's nothing wrong with like a 45-minute stream, right? Like we got some good questions, some good discussion in here, right? The big one is going to be on Wednesday. And hopefully by then we'll have the situation figured out. This was just a nice little bonus stream. I really wanted to do this. I just wanted to play a little game, talk a little draft because I hadn't really talked about the draft at all yet. I don't know. We might just wrap it up here, honestly. And say, well, Pear Champ has a good question. We'll get to that before we wrap it up here. And we'll switch back to webcam only here on OBS. But that's a good question for Pear Champ. What would I say is every team's best position based on the players from the franchise? For example, the Packers having multiple notable Super Bowl winning quarterbacks with MVP seasons. You know, that's a fun exercise. I've actually done this before with some friends, just like, okay, which position is each franchise known for, right? For the Packers, yeah, quarterback, that's the big one, I would say for sure. For Vikings, you know, to make it about my team, I always feel like it's been defensive line. You think about the Purple People Eaters, you've got John Randall, Keith Millard, Jared Allen, Everson Griffin, Daniil Hunter. Hopefully you've got some other guys coming up the pipeline soon, right? Like, obviously you've got Andrew Van Ginkel, and hopefully Dallas Turner will be up next, right? Jonathan Garner. I mean, the Vikings have always had great pass rush. Chargers, I mean, running backs maybe a little bit, right? You've got LaDainian Tomlinson. Well, I mean, LT, I mean, you've got like Darren Sproles, Ryan Matthews, Melvin Gordon, a little bit maybe. I don't know. There's probably a better example for running back. I mean, the Bears, you have Walter Payton, Gale Sayers, Matt Forte, Jordan Howard even for a minute, Ashton Genty once he goes there at 10. Packers, you could say for offensive line too, honestly, right? You think about like Jerry Kramer and Forrest Gregg, Brian Bulaga, TJ Lang, Zach Tom, right? I mean, they've always had great offensive linemen. Bears, you could say linebacker too, maybe. Steelers, maybe linebacker. Vikings wide receivers have always been pretty good. Chiefs tight ends, Gonzalez and Kelsey, right? That was a good question, though. I like that, though. That was a fun little thought exercise right there. But yeah, hopefully, I have no idea how far behind this is either. I'm about to like stop the stream, and I know like when I went back and watched the stream from Wednesday, like when I stopped was like a whole minute, like before, like I missed like a whole extra minute of me talking or whatever, right? But hopefully you at least heard the answer to that question, Pear Champ. I think we are going to wrap things up though, right? We got our round of golf in. We answered some nice questions. And yeah, stay tuned. Mock draft stream will be coming on Wednesday. The Doc Mock, the one and only official mock draft. We're going to be filling it out live. I'm fired up for that one. That one's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Y'all were a great crowd as always. Appreciate your patience with the lag or whatever. You know, it's not that big of a deal, but you know, it'd be nice to see a little bit of what's going on, and it's not like you're watching a slideshow or anything. But yeah, I don't know. Y'all were awesome today. I appreciate it as always. This was still a lot of fun though, right? It was still fun. I'd been wanting to do this for a while, so even if it's only for like 50 minutes, this was a good time. But keep your eyes peeled. Community post, Discord, right? I've got the links to all that in my link tree, which is if you just click on my channel, that'll all be there. But yeah, it is draft season, folks. We've got the mock draft and then the draft stream after that. We've got some fun stuff coming up here. So